Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts video. I'm recording from Uranus tonight, and I'm joined by the beautiful girls, my bestest friends in the whole entire world. Man's best friend is a dog, that's for sure. And I got two good ones here, Hannah and Heidi. And you can tell from the title that we're going to go through another tote. This is going to be a little bit different than the norm, I guess, here on this channel. I like to usually show horror movies or cult classics, and this is going to be kind of a mixed bag of all different kinds of stuff that I have never shown here on the channel before. So this most likely will be the very last tote video for this channel. I do have a couple of totes that haven't been shown before, but I do plan on showing those at some point when they're on shelves, which will not be too far away from now. So get yourselves relaxed, get a beverage, get a snack, light a candle, smack your girlfriend on her fat rump, screw your wig on tight. Let's go. So like I said, this is going to be just a random tote with all different kinds of stuff. I have some imports, I have some DVDs, I have some Blu-rays, I have some box sets, and there's really no rhyme or reason to anything that's in this box. It's just a random box. So therefore, I'm just going to randomly pull. And the first one is the Clash of the Titans remake on Blu-ray with the slipcover. I enjoyed this. It certainly wasn't anywhere near as good as the 1981 original. This one came out in 2010, and it was fun for what it was. There was a lot of CGI, which I thought the original from 81 with the practical effects, Harryhausen effects, was a superior film. I really enjoy that one. Still to this day, I love that movie. So yeah, that's the first one, Clash of the Titans. And this one says it has an alternate ending. I don't remember if I watched the alternate ending or not. I don't remember which ending. It's been a long time since I saw this. I may have to revisit it. But after this one came Wrath of the Titans, and I thought that was pretty good too. So that's the first one, Clash of the Titans. The next one is Sherlock Holmes, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great. This is another movie that it's probably been 10 years now since I've seen it. When did this come out? 2009. I probably saw it around 2010 or 11. So it's been maybe 13 years since I've seen this. Have to give it a rewatch, but I do remember really loving this, and I think Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor, as is Jude Law. And those guys played really well together. So I recommend this if you haven't seen it before. This is crazy. Check this out. I bought this at a Best Buy for $24.99. And I believe I really did pay that for this movie when it first came out. And the sad thing about, I mean, it's a good movie. It's a fun drive-in style movie. Machete, I believe is how they want you to pronounce it. And has Danny Trejo, and you can see, I'm not even going to mention his name. It's not worthy of mention, to me anyway. Great actor, but a real horse's ass of a human being. The sad thing about this, seeing that I paid $25 for this, where you can probably get this at a Goodwill now for $1, $2 at the most, for a Blu-ray. I have seen this before, though this is sealed. I think I have this movie a couple different times. And it's a good little cult classic movie. This is the 2-disc set. I think it's a Blu-ray DVD combo. Blu-ray digital code. Sometimes they used to have the digital codes on a disc, but I don't know if that's the case here with this one. But yeah, this was a fun movie. This would be like a good twin bill with Hobo with a Shotgun or something like that. That'd be a nice little drive-in double feature. The next one here, I've owned this on every format, starting all the way back to 85, I think. When did this come out? 84. So about a year later, did this come out in 84? Something like that. I remember recording this on a blank VHS tape when it was on HBO, and I watched it over and over and over. And then when it came on DVD, I bought that and I watched it over and over. I've seen this movie probably 50 times in my life, and I could probably quote most of these lines by heart. And I have it on Blu-ray now, and I'm sure it's on 4K, and I don't know if I'll need to upgrade that to 4K, but one of the best movies ever made. It's a John Hughes movie. This is the Brat Pack, right? You have Ali Sheedy, Jude, what was his name? Judd Nelson, Anthony Michael Hall, who was in a lot of my favorite movies as a kid growing up. You got Emilio Estevez, and of course Molly Ringwald. Great coming-of-age movie about kids in a detention. Just a great timeless classic. I really enjoy this movie a lot. I have the original Beetlejuice. This is a movie that I saw in the theater with my parents years ago when this came out. This was another maybe 85, I'm going to guess. 88 this came out. I remember watching it at the movie theater with my mom and dad and my brother back in 1988. Fell in love with it instantly. It's a great movie. Michael Keaton is great in everything he does. He's a great actor. And they're making a new one, and some of the original cast are coming back, and I'm looking forward to checking that one out. This is a great movie to watch each Halloween season. Really fun movie. I had to go get something to drink really quick. I just wanted to add that this would be a really good double feature with The Burbs starring Tom Hanks. It would be a nice little 1-2 punch for Halloween. The next one is called The World's End, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. And in my opinion, those two guys can do no wrong. I think all of the movies that they've made, Shaun of the Dead. This is the pub crawl movie. I know they did that. There was a police movie that they made, and then there was the Alien movie that they made. I thought they were all really, really funny. I think British humor is the best. I really enjoy the British humor. And everybody has seen Shaun of the Dead. If you have and you liked it, then I'm sure you'll like The World's End. It's really funny. These two guys are great together. I wish they would come out with some new stuff. But I definitely do recommend this. It's a good, lighthearted comedy, and it'll pick you up if you're feeling kind of blue or you need a couple chuckles. This will fit that spot for you. So check out World's End if you haven't watched it. This is another really fun movie, although I have to admit I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise fan. You won't see many Tom Cruise movies in my collection. I just don't get into Tom Cruise very much. I just don't like him as an actor. But in this movie, he was pretty good. Risky Business was good. There's a couple. I mean, Rain Man was pretty good. But this one was really good. This includes both the director's cut and the theatrical versions of the movie. And it's a nice little kind of a fantasy movie. There's some really nice imagery in this movie. I'm sure most of you have seen this by now. It's been out for a long time. It's another 80s movie, 1985 it says. There's some really beautiful scenery, and the unicorn was nice. The devil, Satan, looks really good in this movie. And it was a very high budget movie, and you can tell the set pieces were really nice. And yeah, glad to have this one. I'm sure there are some fancier editions, maybe a steelbook or a box set, but this is fine for me. I'm happy to have this. It has both cuts of the movie, and I'm just gonna probably keep this. I don't think I'll ever upgrade this. Maybe it's a 4K. I may be tempted if I can find it on sale somewhere, but I'm not gonna go out of my way looking for it. But it is a great movie. Legend. This is the Ultimate Edition. Another movie I saw in the movie theaters. This is another mid-'80s comedy starring one of the best ever to do it. I think Rodney Dangerfield is number 2 to me, all-time comedians, and he's number 2 to Red Fox. Red Fox will always be my number 1. Red Fox was great, but so was Rodney Dangerfield, and he was right at the peak of his fame here in this movie. It was great. I remember watching a lot of Late Night with Johnny Carson, and especially I was revisiting it during the COVID lockdown, and that really helped me get through. And there was a lot of segments with Rodney and Johnny together, and Rodney just he would have Johnny in stitches. I mean, Johnny was almost on the floor rolling around. Johnny loved Rodney, and rightfully so. I mean, Rodney was hilarious. He's a great actor. This is a really funny movie. It's a good feel movie about a father who goes back to college with his son. He joins the swim team, and he does a really amazing, what did they call it, a triple Lindy, I think it was, when he did well, I don't want to ruin it. If you haven't seen this, it's been out for like 40 years, but if you haven't seen it by now, you probably should. It's definitely an 80s classic, and I love this movie. I don't own a lot of comedy movies in my collection, but I have 2 back-to-back, and 2 very funny ones in kind of a different way. This one is more kind of like the mid-'80s kind of college humor. This is more kind of like the stoner humor. I thought this was pretty hilarious. I used to work with a guy who talked about this movie quite a bit, and I would have never picked this movie up, or even, I'm not really into the stoner humor, but the way he described this movie, and he recommended it, and I went out and bought it, and I watched it, and he was right. This is the director's cut, and man, this movie is hilarious. It has a great cast. You got Ben Stiller, you got Robert Downey Jr. plays a black skin, or what do they call it? I forget what they call it. Blackface. When a white actor puts on the black makeup, they call that blackface. Jack Black is in here. This is a hilarious movie. I really recommend it if you like comedies, and I'm sure if you like comedies, you've already seen this before, but if you haven't, do check it out. Okay, at the pace I'm going, this is either going to be a really, really long video, or I can break this. I'll probably break it up into parts. We'll jump right into another Simon Pegg and Nick Frost movie. This is the alien one called Paul. This is the unrated and theatrical. This movie's hilarious. These guys together are fantastic. They're the comedy equivalent of John Lennon and Paul McCartney for the Beatles, and I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really good. It has Kristen Wiig is in here too, and she's very lovely in this movie. I'm a fan, a big fan of Kristen Wiig. The alien is CGI, but it's very well done, and this is a family movie. You can watch this with your kids, or you can watch it with adults, and it's fun for everybody. So do check out Paul. The next one, this is a drama, and this movie's excellent. We had to read the book. I believe it was middle school. There was a book, and then they adapted it to a movie called Flowers for Algernon, and it stars Matthew Modine, and he's a mentally challenged individual, and he gets it's like an experimental brain surgery to try to correct his learning disability, we'll say. And it has drastic changes. He really becomes very smart. I'm not going to give more of it away, but I do recommend this. This is the DVD of it. Who put this out? Echo Bridge. It's an excellent movie. I recommend, though, if you're going to watch the movie, to read the book first. And if you're not a reader, just watch the movie. The book is excellent. The movie is good too, but I like the book better. And but the movie it's very touching, and it's emotional. I'm not going to give any more away. It's a very, very good movie. Matthew Modine was excellent in this movie. This next movie, I've owned it on every format. I saw it in the movie theater when it came out, and don't let the title fool you. It makes it sound like it's kind of a mushy love story, and it is, but it's a very excellent adventure movie with a twist of romance. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. This is the DVD of it. Like I said, I have this movie many times. I do have the Criterion Blu-ray that comes in the digibook. I believe they released it as a 4K now too, which I don't have, but I probably will get that at some point. I absolutely love this movie. Robin Wright is gorgeous as the princess. Carrie Elwes was a great stable hand who turns into the hero. I'm not going to give more away. Andre the Giant is in here. There's some really good adventure scenes. There's some really good comedy kind of mixed in there. I'm sure most of you guys have seen this movie before, but if you haven't, you definitely should check out The Princess Bride. It's a beautiful movie. It starts out with Columbo. Let me see here. Is it Peter Falk? Yes, Peter Falk, who played Columbo, is the grandfather who is reading a story to his grandson, who was played by the young boy from Life Goes On. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank here. And it doesn't say on the back. Fred Savage. It doesn't say it here, but it just occurred to me. There's music from Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits. It was directed by Rob Reiner, but don't let that discourage you. This is almost a perfect movie. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10, but it's really, really good. And it's a flipper disc, and what is this? MGM evaluation card, and there's the insert. This movie will blow you away. I mean, if you look at it just from the title alone, it might kind of, deter you from watching it. But don't let that title fool you. It's a really, really excellent movie. The next one is called Angus, and it's another coming-of-age type movie. And the lead character is named Angus, and he's a I have to be careful how I word things. He's an overweight kid who gets bullied, and he has, I guess, nerdy friends, and they're kind of misfits at a school, and they kind of overcome that. I'm not gonna. And James Vanderbeek, who was in Dawson's Creek, and he was in Friday Night Lights. He was kind of the mean bully jock in this movie, and it was really it has a feel good ending to it. And even though this movie was, I think it came out in the 90s, mid 90s, 1995, it has the feel of a 1980s movie, and I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really, really good. Very well done. The next one here is called 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. It's a mouthful of a title. It's a true crime, kind of a murder mystery movie starring Frances McDormand. It also has a great role by Woody Harrelson, and Sam Rockwell is in the movie as well. He's the deputy. And just briefly, Frances McDormand's daughter is murdered. That's how the movie starts. We don't get to see it. We don't know who did it, but the movie starts bang. She's trying to get leads to try to find who killed her daughter. And she's up Woody Harrelson's ass the whole movie trying to get the cops to do. She feels like they're not doing enough. And there's a little bit of a twist ending. This movie is excellent. I really love this movie. You can see there in that little hype sticker, it said 7 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. And this looked great on Blu-ray, and it was a really, really good movie. This is the kind of movie you can watch like once a year. It's that good. And I really enjoyed Woody Harrelson's role in this movie. The next one here is a box set of Indiana Jones, The Adventure Collection. And it comes with these little slim packs and this little trilogy here. This is the original trilogy. We know that there have been more since, but you get Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. They're a little bit out of order, but that's the order I just said. It was the order that they're in. And gotta love the Indiana Jones movies. Another 80s movie. I really enjoyed the first one. I remember watching that in the theater with my parents. We used to go to the movies a lot when I was a kid. I think that's where I got a lot of my love for cinema, because we were going to the movies a lot. My mom and dad were big, back in the day, they were big movie buffs. Now they stream everything. They don't like physical media, but they still watch a lot of movies. And I got a lot of good taste from my dad. I think he liked a lot of Westerns, and he liked he loves Clint Eastwood and the Dirty Harry movies, and Charles Bronson and the Death Wish movies. He was a big fan of these Indiana Jones movies. So I feel like I had a really good childhood growing up. And even though this has been released on Blu-ray and probably 4K by now, I'll never get rid of this DVD box set. I love it. So, and I probably don't have to say much more about this. I'm sure everybody has seen these by now. The next one here is called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And this is a really good martial arts, kind of a kung fu movie. It has 6 deleted scenes, apparently. I don't remember if I watched those or not. I really did enjoy this movie, though. And this was directed by Ang Lee. I love Asian cinema. I think it's, first of all, the fight scenes were phenomenal. The atmosphere and the cinematography was just fantastic in this movie. It's a really beautifully shot movie. And here's another one. I'm sure most of you guys have seen this before. It's been out for 20 years now. Let's see. 2000. It's been out for almost 25 years already. It doesn't seem like it, but that's how fast Father Time does not wait for anybody. So I really enjoyed the Star Trek kind of reboots too. I thought these were excellent, and she's my current crush. It's Zoe Saldana, and between her and Kate Beckinsale, those are my 2 crushes of the moment right now. But these are really good movies. I enjoyed these a lot. And I do have all of them, but they're not in order, so you'll see me pull them out of order. But yeah, I thought these were really fun movies. Simon Pegg is also in here, and the kid who tragically passed away when he was he was run down by his vehicle in the driveway. His name escapes me at the moment. Anton Yelchin, who played a great role in these movies. All these guys played great roles, and I love these movies. The next one is just, it's an Animal Planet documentary called Man Eaters. I used to really get into the grizzly bear documentaries. I used to watch them always on TV, and there are several different documentaries you can buy. Of course, now everything's on YouTube or streaming. There's probably hundreds of, bear documentaries here on YouTube, but this was a pretty good one. And yeah, they're pretty terrifying creatures. They're beautiful creatures, but yeah, they're pretty frightening. Between a grizzly bear and a great white shark, I don't know which way I wouldn't want to face either one of them. Here's a fun little family movie you can watch with your kids around Halloween time. It's called Little Monsters with Fred Savage and Howie Mandel. Pretty good movie. It's a little silly. It's Howie Mandel's the kind of comedian to me that I can only take him in small doses, and after that he gets a little bit annoying to me, but this is a pretty fun movie. Kids like this one. Next one is a sci-fi classic starring David Bowie called The Man Who Fell to Earth. This is the 3-disc set, which includes a 72-page booklet, poster, and more. You get a Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD. The reason I bought, well, I like this movie, but the reason I bought this particular edition is because this was released by Criterion, but it went out of print. And at that time, this was a while ago, I bought this. Let me see if I can find the year. 2016. The movie itself came out in 1976, but I think I bought this in 2016 or 2017. And the Criterion Blu-ray had gone out of print, and it was over $100, and I think I got this at a Best Buy for like 20 something. And it's a pretty good movie. It's a good sci-fi movie. The next one here is called Conan, the Complete Quest. They're calling it the Franchise Collection. And I have this movie many times too. So you get Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. This is the DVD set that came out in 2003. And these are movies that I grew up watching on VHS, and I have very fond memories. These are great movies. I really enjoy these. And again, this is probably one I don't have to say much about because I'm pretty sure everybody has seen these movies before. And Arrow Video has recently, within the past, 6 months to a year, released these in a Blu-ray box set and a 4K box set, which I own both. So I still don't like to sell or get rid of things in my collection. Sometimes I do, it's very rare, but this one will definitely stay in my collection. It's a really nice addition. The next one here is the 20th anniversary limited edition of Schindler's List. Possibly one of, or if not the most depressing movies in cinema history. We all know what it's about. I'm not going to talk much about it. YouTube is very funny, and they're becoming more and more communist with the way that they're blocking things that you can say on here and show. I'm hoping at some point there's a rival platform that will rival YouTube, and I can go over there and start a new channel. That's what I would do if somebody comes out with a new platform like this where you can share videos, where it's mostly uncensored. I don't like it when they have a robot listen to every word I say and they pick out words that they feel are offensive or we shouldn't say, and I don't think that's right. The next one here is called Hogfather, and this is kind of a sci-fi adventure type movie. I picked this up. What was the name of that? There was a mini series, The 10th Kingdom. 10th Kingdom was a mini series. It was another kind of a sci-fi adventure type series, and it was excellent. And I remembered when I would put the DVDs in, I also have it on Blu-ray now, but this was one of the movies that they were kind of showing previews for, and I really liked the way that the preview looked for this movie. So I grabbed it, and it says at the top, it's a wonderful family film and a fabulous fantasy adventure. And I love these kind of movies, the adventure movies like this. It's a good family movie or just a good adult movie too. I mean, kids of all ages can enjoy something like this. American Beauty, starring Kevin Spacey, who pretty much by now I think Kevin Spacey has been canceled, and I'm not going to go over why. But this movie, to me, was amazing. I remember I rented it on VHS years ago, and I went into this movie blind. And I was blown away. I thought this movie was excellent. I ended up watching it on tape a couple times that weekend before I brought it back. And I do have this on DVD and Blu-ray as well. And this movie's creepy. And it makes you feel like you need to take a shower after you're done watching this movie. It's very well acted, and it's just one of those movies. It's like, wow. It's slimy. It's I don't really know how else, what other words to use, but you will stay glued to the movie. It was pretty long too. How long was this? 122 minutes, so it's just a touch over 2 hours. And I really, really enjoyed this movie. Definitely recommend this. Next is a sci-fi double feature called Krull and Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. These are fun little drive-in style movies. This is a good little twin bill here, and it'll take you back to kind of like the late 70s, early 80s drive-in type movies. You get practical effects, low budget. But usually back in these days, even with the low budget, they would really crank out some great special effects, some of these sci-fi movies. This was put out by Mill Creek. I recommend both of these if you guys like sci-fi movies with that late 70s, early 80s feel to it. Let me see if I can find the years on here. Um, 1983 for Krull, and 1983 also for Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. They both came out in 1983. Here's another franchise and series that's been rebooted a couple different times. I love this series and this franchise. I love all the Planet of the Apes movies. This one is Rise of the Planet of the Apes with the slipcover, and this one has James Franco in it, and Andy Serkis plays one of the apes. And this is the, let me see here, what does this say? It came out in 2011 already. I can't believe it, man. It seems like this just came out a few years ago. It's a 2-disc set. You get some pretty good bonus materials. They give you 11 deleted scenes and some other stuff. The Genius of Andy Serkis. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. This next one is called Tempest, starring Helen Mirren, and I don't know anything about this movie. I haven't watched it yet. This was when I bought it at Dollar Tree a summer or two ago for $1. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. I don't know anything about it. but anytime I can find a Blu-ray for $1, I'll buy it. Next one is called Mazes and Monsters, starring Tom Hanks, and this is kind of a movie take on the tabletop gaming community or games. This is a fun movie. I really like it, but this particular edition, the print is poor. It's in full screen and it's very grainy. And I'm not sure if by now they have cleaned it up and put it on Blu-ray, but if they do, or when they do, I will definitely upgrade this. But this is still a fun movie. I really enjoy Mazes and Monsters. I think this one came out in the late 80s. It says Art and Design 2005. I don't remember when this came out, but it feels like it was in the 80s or 90s. Anyway, you can see how it kind of has that labyrinth feel to it. But I thought it was really fun. It's a good movie. Here's another movie I've seen a dozen times. I love this movie. This is, if it's not in my top 10, it's at least in my top 15 of all time. No Country for Old Men. Anton Chigurh, probably one of the most evil villains in any movie, starring Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones, and Javier Bardem. Suspense, drama, thriller, excellent movie. It borders on horror, and if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but Anton Chigurh, who was played by Bardem, was a serial killer, a brutal serial killer. That's why I say he's the movie's kind of on the border of being a horror movie, and it's a Coen Brothers movie. This is an excellent, excellent movie. If you haven't seen this before, do check it out right away. You gotta, if you don't own it in your collection, blind buy the best copy you can find and pop it in and watch it. You won't be sorry. This is a great movie. And here is the aforementioned, The 10th Kingdom on Blu-ray. I also do have this on DVD. When I first watched this movie, it was a blind watch. I knew nothing about it, but I do love the fantasy adventure type movies. And I knew that's what this was about. Without knowing much else about it, I watched it. And this little mini series blew me away. It was excellent. It has a great cast. This is the 15th anniversary special edition on Blu-ray. Anne Margaret is in here, Rutger Hauer, John LaRoquette, Ed O'Neill, who played Al Bundy. Oh man, this is a great movie. It's a really good family movie, or it's fun for all ages. This is a really, really good little series. It's 7.5 hours long running time. I really recommend this. The next one here is one I picked up at a thrift shop a couple of years ago, a year or two ago. This is called The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but this has a lot of different episodes, 39 episodes and 4 feature films. It's kind of a nice little compact box set you get on 4 discs. And it has the original OG Basil Rathbone. You also have Nigel Bruce. Introductions by Christopher Lee. This is a really nice little set. I think I paid maybe $2 for this. And these are the classic. These are the black and white, like I said, the OG World's Greatest Sleuth, Sherlock Holmes. And being that it's Mill Creek, they have all 4 discs stacked in there, so, which is trash, but what are you gonna do? And I'm only gonna do a couple more in this video. Maybe I'll turn this into like a 4-part series, because I've been talking a lot about each of these movies. Here's another Star Trek. This is Star Trek Beyond. I don't remember what the order was to watch these in, but I did watch them all. I just don't remember the names of them. And like I said, these were all really, really good. If you like sci-fi, and especially if you like the lore of Star Trek, then you'll love these too. These are really good. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. And not really much else to say about that. This was a movie I remember watching with my dad as a kid. It's another comedy. This is called Strange Brew, and although this is still sealed, I have seen this movie many times. Used to rent it on VHS. I believe I do own this on DVD, and then this was the Blu-ray upgrade, which I haven't opened yet, but the Mackenzie brothers, it cracked me up because they have a dog that they called Hosehead, and they used to put beer in the dog bowl for the dog. This is pretty hilarious. If you like Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, especially Rick though, he's pretty hilarious. You'll love this movie. This is a classic, 1983. Really, really good stuff. Okay, so I'll do a couple more. I think I'm going to break this tote down into 3 different parts, just so they're not too long. The next one here, I picked up at I think this was at a Value Village. It's still sealed. It looks like at one time, this was sold at a Sam's Club for $22.88, and I paid $6 for it, and it's still sealed. And in this pack, they're calling it the Cool Characters Triple Pack. You get Ice Age, you get Robots, and you get Alvin and the Chipmunks, all on DVD. They all come in their own cases. And I thought this was a fun little box set to pick up for $6. So I grabbed it. I already have Ice Age and Robots on Blu-ray. I never owned Alvin and the Chipmunks before, so I do now, but nice little box set there for $6. The next one here is an animated adventure movie, and I really love this. This one kind of blew me away. It looks ridiculous on the cover, but the movie is way better than the cover looks. And it's called Dragons, Fire and Ice, and it's an epic movie adventure on DVD. And I really enjoyed this. Let me see, it was just a little bit over an hour. It's like an hour and 12 minutes. And this came out in 2004. And like I said, you can tell that the CGI is a little bit janky, but it was a good story, had a good storyline to it. There was a lot of dragons in here. There was good dragons and bad dragons, good versus evil, kind of set in a medieval setting. And CGI, like I said, it was a little janky, but it worked, and I enjoyed Dragons, Fire and Ice. And this will be the last one for this video, and this is the Three Stooges, the movie. It's a Blu-ray DVD and a digital copy. And I thought this was pretty good. I'm a huge Three Stooges fan, and I have the box set with all the episodes, and I have a couple different collector's editions box sets, and these guys never fail to make me laugh. And I thought these guys were pretty good, and it was better than I thought it was going to be. And I feel like for some reason that this, it didn't hit though. I think it kind of bombed at the box office, and not too many people talked about this. But if you're a true Stooges fan, I think you would enjoy this and have fun with it. And so that's going to do it for this video. It's time for me to leave you Earthlings. I have to go back to Uranus. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. And I hope you enjoyed. And there's going to be probably at least 2 more parts for this last tote. So if you made it this far, leave a comment and say, I'd like to visit Uranus. And that'll be kind of a wink and a nod to let me know that you guys made it this far into the video. So for Miss Hannah and Miss Heidi, I'm your boy, Toddy Walnuts. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I will catch you guys very soon. Be safe out there.